All right. Alrighty, welcome to our 16th induction of the Pine City High School Hall of Fame. We're happy that you were all able to join us tonight, and it should be a fun and entertaining evening. Is that better? Much better. Okay, we'll go up a little bit then. So it's a beautiful evening to have everybody come out, and again, we'll enjoy the conversation that we have with all of our inductees and their presenters. It's always a fun and adventurous evening. Next, I'd like to introduce Gina Dennis, who is going to let us know who all is here that have been former inductees, which we have quite a few in this table right here. Oh, sorry. Hold on. So the Hall of Fame Committee, which there's not very many of us here this evening, myself from the class of 1984, Gina, who is from the class of 2003, Wally, and then we have Lenny.
From what class?
I'm being really nice, and I'm not sharing. We also have Coach C, who is with the volleyball team up in Virginia today. We have Lauren Samuelson, and it's his anniversary, so he never makes it. So that his wife always trumps this event. We have Lisa Mill, who we have Dawn here instead of Lisa tonight. Is she at the haunted house tonight, working? And Rick Engelstead, who is with the tennis team at the individual conference meet. So that rounds us out. All right.
Thank you all for coming from the past inductees. First person that I'd like to introduce is Dick Kuzel from the class of 1962, who played basketball, football, baseball, and track. Second person is Wally Conacher from 1964. I'm not sure what sports you played.
I told you, I counted the ballot just so I got
And has been at Pine City Schools ever since.
Except for that stint in Brand.
That's true. He did become a bomber for a little while. We won't hold it against you. Roger Hegstrom, my grandpa, I'm partial to.
Expected a little bit more.
A little bit.
So did all of us.
And Coach John Everhart, who this year is also being inducted into the Minnesota State High School League Coaches Hall of Fame. Catherine Olson, basketball, 79. And Earl Schuler as a coach. Lots of wrestling, state appearances. Nathan Jones. Football, basketball, and tennis.
Got it.
All right. Drew Ryberg. Is is it football, wrestling, baseball, and golf? Is that correct? And track. That is impressive. All right, and then on the next page we have Jared Clemenson, 2004. Cross country and hockey, and now coaching. Jenna Olson. Softball and tennis. And that's 2006. Okay. Mary Anderson. Rhiannon Sauter is back in the back for volleyball, hockey, and softball. And that is, and if I missed someone, I apologize. I think I've got everyone from that list. All right. So I will now turn it over to Kenny.
Well, it's good to see everybody here. Now we're going to go to what we came here for. And our first inductee is from class of 1962. And it's Butch Felton. And he must have been a little better than I remember because he's got to have two people introduce him this year. So I'm going to turn it over to Dick Kujal and Wally Conacher.
Thank you, sir. I left my notes at home because Wally says you only got 3 minutes. Every damn time I speak, he says that. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Karen. Dad will be proud. And John, and I'll get to you later. Congratulations anyhow. I got a story that you might like or not like. And of course my buddy Leroy, or sometimes Leroy, we like to say Leroy, better known as Butch Felton. I'd like to thank Butch and Wally both for asking me to be a part of this ceremony. It's really an honor to be here, and Butch, I think it's a long time coming. Butch and I go back many, many years to the 7th grade. We're classmates, teammates, and we were even roommates before we got married. Not to him, but just to my wife. But that was a long time ago. And we were both farm kids, came from a meager background. Somehow we survived, and we did okay. Butch was a 4-star a 4-star sport star. Anyhow, first one I'm thinking about is track. That reminds me of John. Butch was I always call him a sprinter. He's quick, fast, and he was one of our members of our relay team that I think we held a record for several years until it was broken some time ago. But he was very good and very quick. And I always remember our coach was Max Ford. And when the weather was inclement, we'd have to run inside the gym, go around the floor and up and over the balcony and down the balcony and kept going again. Well, several occasions, Butch and I would run down there, run out the front door, go down to George Layette's and play a game of pool. Come back, tell Max they didn't even know we're gone. Basketball, I just found out, I thought about it recently, the only reason Butch was good and lettered in basketball is he lived with a coach. Forget about that. But Butch had he had a sweet shot, his quick hands. He usually got to guard the best forward on any other team. I always remember, I was thinking about it, we won the district in '61, and I recall we used to have the districts in Pine City, because we had the biggest floor at that time and the best area for seating and that. And this year, because we were in there, if I'm not wrong, we played in Forest Lake, or the game was going to be in Forest Lake. So I think we actually went down because we didn't have glass backboards. And Forest Lake was the only school in our area, I think, unless maybe North Branch. We actually, I think, went down and practiced there one time before the game. We went in Forest Lake, went to the regions, and we got up to Duluth Arena, and we always thought we were small, but we were very quick and fast. Well, Duluth Central was big and faster. We were warming up before the game, and they had Terry Coonsey, Dan Hansen, I think he got him, and Dan Howard, and all three of them played some type of pro basketball. Anyhow, during the warm-up, Dan Howard, he was 6'6", I believe he was practicing layups, and he breaks the damn backboard. What the hell you think? Us little guys in Pine City are thinking, it was like a half an hour delay before they fixed the backboard before we could play a basketball game. We got beat bad. Oh. Anyhow, then we, baseball, Butch was an outfielder. He had a strong arm. Of course, he's fast and he's thick. And sometimes, maybe it's I'm getting old, but I always thought that he batted left-handed. And I thought, how the hell did that work? He throws right and bats left-handed. But anyhow, we had a good baseball team, and we had Austin in the first game of the state tournament. We were up 1-0 going the last inning. We ended up losing 3-0. As it turned out, Duluth Central and Austin both went on to be state champs that year. Our football team, which I always thought he was our toughest runner in the backfield, and probably the meanest and toughest guy on defense. He was a linebacker. We had a pretty good football team too. Anyhow, one game that we talked about, many of you probably heard about, was we played Lakeville. I think they were ranked 14th or 7th in the state at that time, one class. Anyhow, Butch would always, he was my favorite receiver. He would always split out to the right side, and they kept double teaming him, not letting him out. And I think it was the second half of the game, it was 7-7. And so we switched Butch over the left side, where Rubenik was. And what do you think happened next play? TD. And we won 14-7. So that was always kind of our hallmark game, especially against Lakeville at that time. So anyhow, Wally's going to give you all the real stats. He hasn't questioned me yet, but it's really an honor and a pleasure to be here and to be asked to be a part of this this induction. And Wally, I think you're on. Oh, one other thing. All 4 members of our football team were offered a scholarship at the same school in North Dakota, Ellendale. So we had some pretty good athletes. Thank you.
Butch Feldman, what stats? 14 letters. Few have equaled or surpassed that. You do the math. 2 in 9th grade, 4 in 10th, 4 in 11th, and 4 in 12th. That means the last 3 years, he lettered in every sport that the school offered at that particular time. And of course, nobody will ever do that again. In 9th grade, he was a defensive back in football, in reserve in basketball. In 10th grade, already now he's winning the 4 letters. He was conference champs in football, and he started to play both ways. In the 11th grade, again, 4 sports. In football, he played both ways. In basketball, there was a conference championship and a district championship. As Dick said, they lost to Duluth Central, who was the eventual undefeated state champ. In track, they won the district, and that was the first of 3 straight district championships. He was not around for the last one. In 12th grade, he was captain of the football team that was undefeated in the regular season. There was no playoff at that time. Only one other team in the last 50-plus years has done that, and that team did lose in the playoffs. They beat Mora, who we had a little trouble with over the years, 41-0, and the score that I have for Lakeville was 28-6. Right after that, Lakeville became much larger, and now they have split and won several state championships. He also, as captain, got to crown the homecoming queen. Now, there's some rumor about that. When he did the crowning of the queen, there were 3 candidates. He walked back and forth at least 3 different times. And then he stepped back. Different classes had a different view of what exactly was happening. The 7th and 8th graders, especially the boys, said, I want to be a football captain. You get to crown the queen, and you get to make sure you get to pick the queen yourself. And Leroy can't make up his mind. The 9th and 10th graders are a little smarter about this. And they said, well, the reason he's walking back and forth is the principal told him who the queen was, and he can't remember which one it was. And the juniors and seniors said, that's Butch. In basketball, they were district runner-up. Track again, district champs. Baseball, undefeated until the state tournament. That means that every single game that he played in football and baseball, his senior years, they won in the regular season, and they lost to the eventual state champ. He did forget his shoes on the way down to the state tournament, and he's not denying that. And yeah. I learned a lot about coaching that day. Coach Lesnell, his philosophy was discipline hard, but only until it hurts. So I called back and made sure that he had his shoes. There was only one class then, so that meant that the Pine City baseball team was the champion from Forest Lake all the way to International Falls. After hearing all of his stats, you're wondering, why did it take so long? Well, in 2005, he was nominated. We sent out the request for a bio, and he sent it back with his name, address, and I can't remember a darn thing. So we sent it back to him, and there was no reply. This year, they tried something different with the committee, and they assigned each committee member a certain decade. And I had the 60s, and I looked over those that had been nominated and those that were potential. And I saw him, and I remembered what he did, so I called him, and he sent it back, and after we validated what he had said, it was a really easy selection. Things I remember, 2 classes behind him, but 3 calendar years. I remember how hard he played the game, how positive he was. I remember his leadership, and to me, that was so important that as a sophomore, a very young sophomore, listening to his guidance and Dick Cool's guidance and things of that sort, I remembered that. And I remembered that when I got to be a senior. And I remembered that when I went into coaching, of the importance of the leadership of the senior class. And I want to thank him for that tonight. Leroy Butch Felton, welcome into the Pine City High School Hall of Fame.